Han Solo, the unpredictable rogue who has been charming the masses since 1977. Why is this character actually as popular as he is, and what does this reveal about the human condition? Just a quick reminder to like and subscribe as it helps the channel greatly. Now, back to the video. At the heart of Han Solo is the archetype of the anti-hero. The anti-hero is commonly known for traits such as moral ambiguity and self-interest. When we first meet Han, he displays this in abundance. He is a smuggler with a bounty on his head and explicitly states that he is only looking out for himself. Well, clearly these traits aren't exactly inspiring at first glance, and I've been wondering exactly why Han Solo is so compelling for so many. Of course, there are the obvious reasons, such as him eventually acting heroically, not to mention his rugged charm, which are also classic traits of the anti-hero. But it doesn't seem to me that those reasons alone are enough to explain the kind of impact his character has had over the decades. If we pan out for a moment and look at the larger story of Star Wars, Han Solo is right in the middle of an enormous, supernatural battle. He stands with Luke and Leia, the children of the Chosen One, and both are powerful with the Force. In many ways, Luke and Leia aren't complicated in regards to their moral compass. They both singularly pursue what they believe to be the right thing almost without hesitation. Han, on the other hand, is far murkier when it comes to his moral compass. While this might not be inspiring at first glance, it seems to me that this is a huge relief for the audience. Here we have someone who reflects our all-too-human contradictions and imperfections. Han has no powers other than his wit and cunning nature. He is out in the galaxy alone, just trying to survive. He knows little about the waging war between the Empire and the Rebellion. Yet despite all odds, he finds himself caught right in the middle of it. It seems to me that the character of Han touches upon something incredibly deep. A human just trying to live his life surrounded by a raging cosmic war between good and evil. Once confronted with this, Han outwardly dismisses it, clearly stating that he wants no part of it. Yet despite himself, he stumbles into the battle helping to fight the Empire. This doesn't stop his moments of being obnoxious, self-centered, and arrogant along the way. But in the big picture, he makes the right choices, the good choices. In a sense, Han perfectly represents the human struggle with conscience and free will. Everyone is living their lives in a chaotic world, just trying to get by. Yet in the midst of all the chaos, there is a continuous inner struggle between our better and worse natures. We are continually faced with the choice of whether we will act towards some higher principle of goodness or whether we will give in to our more selfish and impulsive natures. Han Solo perfectly portrays this messy process of stumbling into one's better nature. In fact, what is gradually demonstrated with Han is the repurposing of some of his traits that were initially part of his moral ambiguity. For example, his cunning nature and skill as a pilot that he had deployed for a long time for his own self-interest was used to save Leia and C-3PO in The Empire Strikes Back. He navigated the Millennium Falcon through an asteroid field, a maneuver considered too dangerous for the Imperial ships to follow. However, Han also demonstrates that the choice to participate in this battle willingly, to choose one's better nature, comes at a price. Firstly, by joining the rebellion, Han loses out on financial opportunities and actually puts himself in a worse financial position due to the bounty on his head increasing. Not only that, but he makes himself more visible to the dangers of the Empire. In fact, Han's critical moment where he is frozen can be understood symbolically as the overwhelming experience of choosing what one believes to be right and facing the daunting consequences for that choice. How truly terrifying it can be to actually listen to one's conscience. The price for doing the right thing can be life-changing. Han risked his life in more ways than one to listen to his conscience. What's so gripping about this is that we are watching a representation of a flawed human trying to be better. In the process of him trying to be better, he has to face his past mistakes. In Han's case, his past mistakes are symbolized by the bounty hunters pursuing him. A great metaphor for one's past mistakes haunting them. Never is the haunting stronger than when we are trying to be better and change. Yet Han is not only confronted with his past, but also the evil of the Empire, a force much greater than him, and for all intents and purposes supernatural with Darth Vader at the helm. This is the price he pays for listening to his conscience, and he is frozen by Darth Vader. Therefore, in essence, he is frozen by his confrontation with evil. So from this perspective, the audience needs to know what will happen to Han because they need to know whether redemption is possible. Whether he can overcome his own darkness and the darkness that has spread through the galaxy. Whether listening to his conscience and acting upon it will lead to an outcome that makes the pain worthwhile. But the story, of course, doesn't end there. As terrifying as it can seem to fight for the courage to act on one's better nature, Han is undoubtedly rewarded. He is rescued by Luke, Leia, and Lando, who go to great lengths to unfreeze him. In fact, the presence of Luke and Leia are very important in this because they also represent a symbol of the supernatural forces beyond Han. Yet these forces come in to rescue him. Over the course of the story, Han grows into capacities far beyond smuggling. He gains a true family with Leia, Luke, and other members of the rebellion. He is transformed from a cynical loner to a selfless leader willing to risk everything for what he believes to be right. Han is the everyman caught up in forces far beyond him and far beyond his understanding, and yet he plays a critical role in the outcome of the cosmic battle. Han Solo is a beautiful depiction of the uniquely personal and yet deeply universal responsibility of free will and conscience. The difficulty and pain of it, but in equal measure the redemptive promise of it. It puts into perspective the impact that one person can actually have in the grand tapestry of the universe. It reminds us of how important each one of us actually is and how important our choices are. It's a tale that encourages us that no matter how difficult it may seem to act upon our better nature, in the end, it will be worth it. You've been watching Archetypal Wisdom. Remember to like and subscribe. Stay wise.